In the heat of every election season in this country, the youths of this nation are promised the moon and stars. They are the drums that beat for rallies, the voices that chant for campaigns, and the feet that fills the street with energy and power. And once they elevate leaders into powers, these same youths are abandoned. They are left to wrestle with unemployment, broken promises, and the harsh reality of a system that sees them as a mean to an end. So tonight from Amike Media, this is the untold story of how the youths of this nation are being used. So tonight from our studios of Amike Media, we are having a youth representative from Nairobi who is going to talk about what is the current situation in the country in regarding to the youths on how they're responding to the leaders that we have in power. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, I'm a youth representative, Langesa, in the businessman. I'm also a Gen Z, yeah?
Alright.
So if you look at me, I'm a Gen Z. I still have that energy to go to the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to our studios, and we are very happy to have you here today. And I hope the conversation just goes on the way we are expected, and we really appreciate for you coming.
I also appreciate for you welcoming me here. Let's see what we have for the youth.
Thank you. So, Mr. Peter Ngesa,
Yes.
over the past few months, we have seen the youths of this great country of Kenya going to the roads, demonstrating and blemishing the leaders we have in powers. Yet, we know that the highest percentage of people who choose leaders into power are the youth of this nation. What exactly is happening?
Okay. According to this current situation, all these demos, the demonstration has been happening due to the regime that we have. First of all, this regime promised you so many things. If you could look, their promises were so many. They'll bring, I don't know, fiber cables everywhere. The regime advocating for the mama mboga and so on and so forth, you see. But up to date, it was upside down. The taxes are so high, you see. That's why the regime decided to go to the road, you see. The abduction and so on and so forth. So this regime is just trying to kufinyilia ule mwananchi.
Exactly.
Venye walikuwa nasema ati watamuinua, sasa wanamfinyilia, unaona? Sasa the regime, the reason to why these people are demonstrating, they're trying to advocate for their rights. That these people really promised us that we are going to do this, and they're not doing anything about it, you see?
Yeah.
They just turned everything that they say they are going to do upside down. They promised everything, but nothing happened. So these youths are demonstrating so that at least they can be heard. Their people have been killed on demos, you see? When they go to demonstration, they go for a peaceful demonstration, but what turns up? They turn up being killed, being abducted, you see, being shot, being tear gassed, you see? And that's why these youths are, they say, we will not get tired. We'll go to the street until Zakaya do what Ashuke. And that's what they're trying to do up to this moment.
So when you're talking about abductions and you're talking about advocating for their rights, so we understand, and I hear your point, Mr. Ngesa, that the youths of this nation went to the road to advocate for their rights. But it's due for them going to the road when we saw abductions occurring in this country. So why do you think the leaders are responding to the youths in a way of abduction instead of doing actions?
Okay, the regime that we have doesn't listen. If it could be a regime that listens, the people couldn't be going to the street, you see. You cannot see your fellow youth being abducted and you keep quiet, you see.
Yeah.
And these youths that you're talking about now are highly educated. These people are highly educated.
Yeah.
And that's why you see them going to the street. They know everything. They know every move of the government. Because even when they go to demonstrate, already they know the strategy of the government. You know, we will be in town demonstrating at the CBD, but already they know that they will be sent for those people who are coming to abduct them, you see. So they have to take position and know that the government should take position and know that these people that are dealing with, they are educated. They see every move of the government. They borrow loans and they don't repay, you see. And the government and the economy keep on sinking down and down. You see?
Just to cut you short, Mr. Ngesa, when you say that the youths that the current government are dealing with, that the highly educated youths. So tonight, are you telling the people of this great nation that the previous government, the previous regime, were dealing with illiterate youths? Because there is something, there's nothing that has changed.
No, I don't mean that the previous youths were illiterate, but this generation is the generation that is exposed. You see, they're exposed to everything. They know everything about social media. You see, they see the tweets and everything and so on, and they see where the conversation will lead to, and that's why you see them advocating for their rights. They know when you post this, it means this for them. Yeah.
Mr. Ngesa, do you think there are better ways of the youth of this nation to present their grievances to the government than going for demonstrations that caused the mayhem that led to abductions of many Kenyan people who, up to date, some of them, they're not known where they are?
Okay, so far there's so many better ways. But if the government doesn't listen, what do? They go to demonstrate.
So, Mr. Peter Ngesa, we have seen from all the news platforms, social media, magazines, that the youths of these nations have sworn that they are not going to re-elect the regime that is leading us now. What do you think?
To my expectation, so many people may not re-elect the government that is in at the moment because of the lack of their promises. They tried their best to advocate for their promises, but up to now nothing has happened. Nothing has happened at all. So it may sound so much difficult to convince a Gen Z to revolt to a regime that hasn't done anything at all. It's going to be very hard. So what I can advise for these youths, what you can do is just fight for your rights. Fight for your rights. And if it be re-electing a government that cannot advocate for what they promise the youth, that one is going to be very difficult. Maybe we can look for an alternative that is going to help us. Come 2027, let's be wise, and at least now that we are waking up as the Gen Zs, let's all make sure that comes to election, no vote will be nullified and no vote will be stolen. That's all I can advise for the youth. Let's all fight for our rights. This is our generation, and this is our Kenya. The Kenya is for us, and that's what we can say. Let's all advocate for what is best for the Kenyans.
All right, let's fight for our rights. Those are not my words. Those are the words of Peter Ngesa, a youth representative and a businessman from Nairobi. From Amike Media, this is the untold story of how the youth of these nations are used by the political class once they get into powers. This and many more will be coming to you. Get tuned.